This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth with breaking news. Virginia Giuffre, one of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent abuse survivors, has died by suicide. That's right, guys. This is Prince Andrew's accuser, who said she was just hit by a bus a couple of weeks ago and posted photos of herself on Instagram saying that she only had 4 days to live. And perhaps even crazier than this is that just in a 2019 tweet, she literally said this: "I'm making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away. And help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." Well, folks, now Virginia Giuffre, Jeffrey Epstein, and Prince Andrew accuser is dead at the age of 41. And here she is pictured with Prince Andrew at the young age of 17. She claims that she was a minor when she was forced to have sex with him. She claims that he knew she was a minor at the time. And in this now infamous photo, we can see her with Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell, and also Jeffrey Epstein, who is allegedly the one taking the photo, and you can see the reflection of the flash in the background. Now, when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, guys, if you've been following my work, if you just search Jeffrey Epstein suicide on my website, you're going to find a whole bunch of videos like this one: breaking, Jeffrey Epstein is dead from suicide while on suicide watch. Or this one, the Jeffrey Epstein suicide conspiracy explained in under 2 minutes. Or the Jeffrey Epstein suicide tape didn't delete itself. Let's take a closer look. Or this one, Jeffrey Epstein suicided. You won't believe what they are now claiming happened. And, you know, so many people realized that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, that this meme basically took off and went completely viral, because I think most people were able to make the connection back then that, you know, the whole truth about the Clinton body count and the Epstein connection. I pointed out what you need to know in this 2019 video, because Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein are not only heavily connected to royalty, but they're connected to the Clintons as well. And not just the Clintons, guys. This thing runs extremely deep. Here's the current Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, here pictured with Ghislaine Maxwell in 2013, looking very, very chummy. So this thing runs very, very deep, guys. If you missed my bombshell report titled "Canada's New Prime Minister Mark Carney and the Pedophile Network That Controls Him Exposed," make sure you check it out. I will put a link to all this in the description below, but we're going to talk about all of this right here, guys, and much more in this video. But really quickly, just before we do, I want to let you know that the 2025 Bilderberg conference is coming up very soon in Stockholm, Sweden, and I have all the intentions of being there to once again provide you with the kind of coverage that you've come to expect from Press for Truth at a Bilderberg conference. It's going to be in June, from June 12th to the 15th. They've invited people like Pietro Parolin in 2018, who is now looking like he might be the new pope. You've got Mark Carney, who's been there for the last number of years. Chrystia Freeland. Are all these people going to be there this year? I intend to find out, guys, but I'm certainly going to need your help with that. So far, we've had 5 people who have contributed to this campaign to help me cover some of the expenses of going to cover this important, very secretive meeting. So if this is something you appreciate, guys, and would like to contribute to my efforts to go expose, please consider checking that top link in the description below to where you can find me at this Go Get Funding campaign. Support my efforts to go to Bilderberg in Stockholm, Sweden this June. All right, guys, check this out. The same woman who warned the world that she's not suicidal just died by suicide after exposing one of the most powerful trafficking networks on Earth. These coincidences aren't coincidences. She was silenced permanently. Listen to this.
I was so young. Keelan woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. And then that night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, "Let's dance together." And I was like, okay. And we leave Club Tramp, and I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey. And Ghislaine said he's coming back to the house. And I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
Even royalty is involved. Yes, heavily, heavily involved. Again, this is the now infamous photo of the moment that she's speaking about in that video. Again, I'll remind you to check out my bombshell, Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney and the pedophile network that controls him exposed, and you'll see just how deep this whole thing runs. But I want you to check this out, because after Virginia Giuffre's reported suicide, other Epstein survivors have started coming out. They're now stepping forward, making it clear to the world that they are not suicidal. You've got Juliet Bryant, who says that she was kidnapped by Epstein over 2 decades ago. She claims she met Epstein in Africa while she was with Bill Clinton, and while he was with Clinton, and she's familiar with the Clinton body count. She also alleges that several Epstein victims have died under suspicious circumstances already, and believes that they are now being eliminated one by one over time. According to her, survivors are now living in fear for their lives as their warnings continue to be ignored by the mainstream media. These witnesses and survivors need to be protected. Just listen to this.
Bryant, and I live in Cape Town, South Africa. I was kidnapped by Jeffrey Epstein 20 years ago. I am not suicidal, and I never ever will be. I also do not do any drugs. I met Epstein when he was in Africa with Bill Clinton. We all know about the Clinton body count. Another concerning fact is that one of the main women, a very brave angel, Carolyn, who testified against Ghislaine Maxwell, was found dead 6 months ago. It wasn't in the media until a few days ago. The only reason it was put in the media was because of a very, very brave Epstein victim. She doesn't want to be named. But there are other Epstein victims who've also died suspiciously. Carolyn was a beautiful, amazing, brave woman who planned a life on a chicken farm with her family. Instead, she was found dead in a hotel room. I want to speak out for safety and for other victims, because it's very frightening when the media won't cover any of the victims' stories. A lot of my story hasn't been told in the media, and it's the same with a lot of other victims. And we actually all feel quite frightened with everything that's been going on. And as we know, this is not the first suspicious death related to the evil Maxwell empire. They also used to run the media. So maybe that's why victim stories are not being told to the media, and the victims of Epstein feel very frightened. Please all pray for Carolyn's family. And thank you for listening.
Wow, but pray for all of them, because it really does seem like they're systematically going after them now one by one. You have Virginia Giuffre saying that she was in hospital after a serious car accident. She posted photos of it on her Instagram, saying that she only had like 4 days to live, but then records came out saying it was just a minor crash between a bus and a car, and that there were no injuries that had been reported as a result. Yet, she's seen here completely, bruised up and saying she only has about 4 days to live. And then like a couple of weeks later, she, commits suicide. I mean, it's just absolutely bizarre. One thing is for sure, as I pointed out in 2022, Ghislaine Maxwell's not going to be naming any names. She defends Clinton, Trump, Prince Andrew, and all of the other associates instead. And also, as I mentioned in this video, there is no list. You're not going to be seeing any Jeffrey Epstein client list coming out anytime soon. They're going to be dangling that carrot in front of you for quite some time. while they systematically take these people out. Virginia Giuffre, one of the most prominent victims of the disgraced U.S. financier Jeffrey Epstein, who also alleged she was sexually trafficked to Prince Andrew, has died at age 41. Her family issued the statement on Saturday, confirming she took her own life at her farm in Western Australia, where she had lived for several years. It is with utterly broken hearts that we announced that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. She lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking, the statement read. In the end, the toll of abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight. Giuffre is one of the most vocal victims of Epstein, alleging that she had been groomed and sexually abused by him and his longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, beginning in her teens. The family described her as a fierce warrior against sexual abuse and sex trafficking, and a light that lifted so many other survivors. The article goes on to say that Josh Giuffre, a lawyer who represents one of Epstein's victims, said that Giuffre was integral to exposing the financier. The case wouldn't have existed without her input, her cooperation, her bravery at the beginning, inspiring so many other people to come forward. He told this cable news network station, he said, her loss will hopefully be a marker and almost an inspiration for people to call attention to this epidemic that is sex trafficking, that is the international sex industry. This is an issue that still persists. It changes its form all the time, and it exists all around the world. This just happened to be a really prominent example. Yeah, you don't say. Really, really, really prominent, I would suggest. Royalty, the brother of the king is just about as prominent as it gets, guys. So what do you guys think is going on here? Is this somebody who strikes you as someone who's been, suffering with depression due to the stuff that she's been forced to go through and who did kill herself, or is there more to the story here? Does this resemble something more like what we've seen with, the Jeffrey Epstein suicide, who, we know for sure had everything to do with the Clinton body count? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And once again, guys, if you do appreciate my efforts to bring you all this info, don't forget, I do plan to go to Sweden in mid-June to cover the annual Bilderberg conference. I'm hoping to raise around $4,000 or so. That's usually how much it costs me to go cover a Bilderberg conference. And I've so far raised a couple $100. We're not quite there, guys. So hopefully we can get these numbers up from 5 people today to maybe double that by the end of the day. That would be fantastic. If that's something you're interested in, please click that top link in the description below. And that's all for today, guys. Just wanted to bring all that to your attention. Once again, if you do appreciate my efforts to do so, please click the thumbs up button, share this video, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth.